Welcome, Sexy Wookiees, to another episode of the Sexy Wookiee Squadcast. We are continuing reading Star Wars Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston, and this week's chapters are 7 through 12. Make sure you follow the rules. Said no stormtrooper ever. It's your boy, Sexy Leader.
Hey, it's your girl, Sexy One.
Hey, it's your simp, Sexy Two.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Sorry,
that
that
was
quote.
unexpected.
Oh, amazing. Also, to the viewers, sorry if, at least for me, I'm a little glowy faced because it is hot as balls where we live.
I can't believe it's January, like the middle of January, and it's this warm. This is like summertime warm.
So remember,
Yeah.
we don't sweat, we glow. So if
We
we're
glow.
glowing, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First question. Would you have left Rada ASAP to try your luck elsewhere, or would you have stayed with the upper hand of being anonymous?
No, get out of there. Like any risk is too much of a risk. There's no point. You have nothing tying you down. You plan for being able to move quickly, and just best to not even give them a chance to get suspicious or to slip up. So yeah, if it had been me, out of there. And you think, oh, she wants to help her friends. That's why Jedi don't make attachments. So she's a bad Jedi, which is why they kicked her out, as far as I know.
Oh, that's not what happened.
Headcanon, okay? And my lived experience is that they kicked her out.
I'm gonna choke on my Slim Fast. I can't even drink
I'm gonna
it.
put that's gonna be the quote of this episode.
I'm gonna choke on my Slim Fast.
What about you, Ron?
Oh, man, that's a good way to put it. The whole don't get attached. It's kind of like going to a new world. Don't get involved in the first place. I think she should have just, I think Ahsoka should have just, did her own thing and try to best stay away and not get involved. You know me. I think she should just live in the cave this whole time that she's there. But yeah, I would also left. There would be nothing for me. It would just be easier for me to just pick up and leave. You know what? The best place, go back to Coruscant. Hide in the underground. It's the best place to not, you don't have to mingle with anybody. And there's probably too many people to mingle in the underground that the Empire wouldn't even bother to try to look for you.
That's not a bad idea.
Best place is to hide in the inside where they'll never look for you.
The closer we are to danger, the further we are from harm, as they say in Lord of the Rings. So that is a whole nother thing. And then got Ronald quoting the Prime Directive, don't get involved with these planets. So now we're Star Trekking. I don't know what's going on. This is a crossover app. But I want to know, Jasmine, are you going to be the odd man out?
I think I will, because she did make a point. She has the upper hand with being anonymous. Not to mention, she's like, at this point, they're just going to end up wherever I am. I may as well just try to write it out. Because, I mean, it's true. Like, the Empire's just going to keep going wherever she ends up going. So, yeah, it's a small enough planet. At some point, they would probably leave, which, she found out, like, oh, yeah, they're going to leave at some point. So, I guess test my luck there instead of later on where it could be somewhere more dangerous, right?
Maybe. I mean, I think you're right in that she is right when she realizes they are expanding. They can go in it wherever they want. Probably no matter where she ends up, they're going to find her. But then if it were me, my strategy would be, okay, then I need to find some place where I've got allies, where it's defensible, where I can go underground when they get there. The next place I go, I have to set up shop on the assumption that they're going to show up, not this last two places where I just hoped that they wouldn't. Next time I'm going to be smart from the beginning. But this place is already blown. I'm made, get out, gone. That would be my thought.
Yeah, and what do you think what I'm going to do? Face the whole Empire by myself with a lightsaber? Without a lightsaber, in fact?
Without
not
one.
Not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
That's fair.
Yeah. GTFO. Next question.
Wait, instead of GTFO, GTKO, get the Kriff out of there.
Get the Kriff. Who's to get the force?
Get the Kriff out.
KO.
That could replace the choking on the Slim Fast quote. Get the Kriff out.
I like that's a good one too. We'll keep it.
I like that
On
one.
a roll. We're on a roll.
All right, guys. So, wow, I wrote this in the wrong language. I'm so sorry. Let me translate.
Translate that very quickly for me, or you can read it in Spanish and I will try to understand it.
I wrote this at like 4 a.m. And by that point in time, I don't know what language I'm thinking or writing in. So
I've got just enough liqueur to maybe bring that Spanish back out from my subconscious.
all right. So would you try to help the force sensitive child or just not get involved?
That's a little bit of a tougher one, because it's not like the whatever happens to them, like they've got the same chance as any other person in the galaxy and you can't save everybody. Like you almost know that their fate is going to be worse if they get found out.
Mhm.
And there's way more of a kinship or a sense of responsibility to somebody like that than there would be to just random farmers, say. So it would be much harder to leave that, I think, to leave that be, or at least not even say anything, like not talk to her parents and be like, look, there's something about your kid that, just take my word for it, you need to be careful, keep it secret, don't ever let her, do anything like this. Here's a few tips to raise her in a way that it won't be dangerous. Peace out. Like, just to like not acknowledge it at all. Yeah, that's a little tougher. I don't think I would have just left with everything undone. I probably would have done something immediately as soon as I realized that what was going on. Either start talking to her directly on the sly and being like, hey, you can't do that. Or talk to her parents and give them some tips on how to hide her.
Yeah, same for me. I would definitely be quick to let the parents know, just because maybe at this age the child is not really aware of how they're using and what they're using these force or being force sensitive is. At the same time, it's like everything when I was reading that, every video game, every is the image of Vader, because it's not even Inquisitors. Like, it's the worst of the worst can happen. Even in Rebels, when Kanan and Ezra first saw Darth Vader and didn't know who Darth Vader was, and then he unleashed his powers. Well, at least Ezra and Kanan were somewhat trained to even fight him, and we all know how that turns out. And so, I mean, yeah, I would definitely, if I was in Ahsoka's place, it would either have to be talk to the parents and then figure out, do I take this, this force sensitive person? Because what Megan said is right. It's kind of like you take care of your own. Unlike the planet, it's separate. That's a different. You're trying to save a race, a planet, but with this one, it's so close to home, and I wish she was a little bit more. I wish Ahsoka was a little bit more, not afraid, because Ahsoka has always known, has always been headstrong and know what she was doing. But the moment she first stepped outside of, her world, really shows that it took a toll on her. And but at the same
Well, and
time,
it sounded like this event was so close on the heels of Order 66. She was still a bit traumatized and feeling adrift at the loss. So she probably wasn't her usual self in the moment.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, I wish she had just taken it, because now I'm like, what's the faith of this, this force sensitive child? And if the Empire ever comes there, then, well,
they did.
You're on your own.
They showed
So-
up. That's when she left.
With that in mind, would you have taken the kid then, or only just talk to the parents?
No, I would have tried to take the kid somehow.
Take it. Wow.
Yeah.
I would have too. I mean, if I was in Ahsoka's shoes, I'm already on the run. I already know what can happen. I've seen what happens.
Just
like
add
they
kidnapping
almost
to the
try
list. Why not?
No, talk to the parents and be like, hey,
Mhm.
I noticed this. This is what happened. I can't go into too many details about my past, but you heard of what happened to the Jedi, Force sensitive. Your daughter's doing this. I saw her with my own eyes. I can take her somewhere safe. If you don't want me to take her, then you need to take her somewhere safe, just something like that. I mean, they have enough money. I'm sure they have enough context somewhere that they could hide the kid. So if I can't take her, then, at least warn them, hey.
Yeah, at least give them a heads up.
Yeah, Ray, you guys are right. I mean, I think just help them pick up and leave somewhere. There's got to be, Republic safe houses somewhere. And, when I know Ahsoka didn't have the Obi-Wan warning, but Ahsoka could have got that somehow.
I think she did, though.
like to think.
I think there was one part in the book that said that she heard the "don't go back to the temple" warning. That I don't know how she did. She wouldn't have been on Jedi networks anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
But
her
I think it
access
did
would have been revoked.
mention that, right? They take your fob away when you get fired from the company,
Yeah. So, good question. I like that.
It's funny because I've got a story with that exact dilemma because, in Rebel Legion, we have to come up with a little story for all the characters, and I've got a Jedi character, and then she's actually in charge of bringing in Force sensitive kids to live at the temple. And so she's out picking up Force sensitive kids when it all goes down. And so then it's the dilemma of what to do with these kids now. Do I put them back and with their parents that I just took them from? Well, would they be safer there? Or is it more dangerous to have a bunch of Force sensitive people
But it's
together?
the way you said it. No, I just put them back.
Put them back on the shelf.
That's why she has no attachments.
Here you go. I kept the receipt. Take your kid back.
Exactly. Hey, I changed my mind. Don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's actually a dilemma that I've had to deal with in a story.
I would love to read that story written out.
It's not quite that cold. Just put it back.
I mean, it would still be fun to read the story. That sounds cool.
Maybe someday I'll share that one. Anyway.
All right, guys, ready for the last question?
Ready.
Is it better to rescue Caden and them, or stay out of it and let them face the consequences of their own actions?
Oh, cut your losses. You're kidding me? You're gonna rush in there, you're gonna get all the people killed. At least the half that are gone stand a chance, a very slim chance of pulling it off and not getting caught. I'm not even entirely sure what the issue is. I don't know if I'm just dense, but I couldn't understand why what they were doing was risky or was any riskier than what these guys had already done. So I'm I don't understand
what they
why.
had said was because Ahsoka said we just criffed up your walkers, and so that's going to raise some kind of alert, and they're probably going to call in the extra troopers to be like, hey, come patrol this just in case it was some kind of rebel or whatever activity, which means the other people were going to go to the troopers barracks to go mess stuff up. The troopers are going to be on alert coming out, so they're going to find them.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't get the cause and effect. I'm how are they going to notice that these hidden joints have been sabotaged within a few minutes of it being done, unless they were going to be taking them out sometime soon, which wasn't clear.
I think in the book it said that the walkers already started corroding or something, the legs. So I think
enough that the whole thing is just going to fall off, or how would you even notice that?
I don't know if they said fall off, but I remember it said that it already started acting pretty quick, and then
which it would, but it felt like it was inside of a joint. And so that the only time you would notice it is if you started moving and then it just didn't connect anymore. It didn't seem to me like if you were just walking around you would notice it. which I don't know. And then I'm like, how do you jump to the conclusion already that they're going to the barracks? Why wouldn't you assume that they're sabotaging something more military, like the, I don't know, the headquarters or the weapons depot or something else? I'm like, how she automatically knows the barracks? And why would you target the barracks anyway? I don't know. Why not
Because
the
these people don't know
spaceport
military strategy. They're just like, hey, let's go attack
So
these
she
people
just
with the blasters.
assumed that they would just do the stupidest thing. So,
I mean, they were
actually
already
did.
doing stupid things, so
I guess
assume
so.
that too.
So I don't know. It was a lot of like, well, if this happens, then this happens, and then this happens, and then you're in trouble. And I'm like, yeah, but that's a lot of ifs that don't even make logical sense to me. So I'm like, I don't even think they're going to be in that much trouble. Like, I think they could get in and out, and nobody's going to notice. So yeah, you bring in the whole gang, like you risk much bigger chance of getting caught, drawing attention, getting these guys panicked. Let them just do what they were going to do and get out, and then maybe help them cover their retreat. But like, yeah, no, don't bring everybody in to go like, they picked to do this. This is what they would have done if you had GTKO'd in the beginning. So let them, this is their planet. Let them do what they're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. First, I'd like to say I'm going to go back. I can't remember what book I said this from, but you can't deviate from the plan. And I think I said it in Rogue Squadron the first time when Corran Horn wanted to go, and it was that point where he was trying to pinpoint the highest altitude or whatever. But yeah, so the long story short, like, don't deviate from the plan. Now, I also believe this team did not have a plan B with all their cantina strategies. Like,
sure they
you
didn't.
have to account for things that may go wrong, or things that what happens if you get separated, so I think it was more of like that they were trying to rush. Yes, the things were corroding, and eventually whoever fires up these machines they're gonna figure out, oh, who sabotaged this our battalion. And
Wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just put a couple things together that might answer it, because you said who sabotaged. The whole point of them using the corrosive material, and this is explained in the book, was that when they eventually discovered it, they would assume it was the planet's weather that just doesn't agree with their technology. That was why they decided to use corrosive material instead of bombs or whatever. Like, it was all like a long-term, make them think it's not worth being here. So it's not something they would have noticed immediately and assume was sabotage. That's the whole reason they picked corrosive material, was so that they would assume it was like a natural phenomenon. So that doesn't make sense.
well, also,
EK, can you chime in and help?
Yeah.
Answer me this question.
We're confused.
Because what I pictured in my head
I'm
was
really
like
confused.
what I pictured in my head was like Luke in Empire Strikes Back, cut it up with a lightsaber, throw a thermal detonator.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna go back to the question now. I think they're just in a rush. They can't. It's better to not be involved with whoever's there, because if they get caught, all they have to do is keep their mouths quiet, and they won't be suspicious of maybe the 75% that's still on the outside and not associated with this mission. But yeah, who is it? Hoban, who's getting my nerves with this.
Yeah, he's so annoying.
And it's like, I'm like, dude.
No, I'm like, that's my guy. Be suspicious of everything. Like, do not trust anyone. This guy knows what's up.
But he needs to think before he speaks. I swear to God, he's almost as annoying as what's his face, Admiral Mahdi and
oh no,
and Winbud.
He can't be that bad. He's
almost as annoying as him and Winbud.
No, I think he's more like that one young guy in Stinking Resistance Reborn that was always popping off. He's more like that, I think.
So annoying.
We're
I'm
just like, oh my gosh.
like I get being suspicious. I'm a suspicious person too. I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Why are you looking at, But I like at the same time, before you speak, before you just, I don't know, open your big goddamn mouth, think, especially if you don't want her involved in stuff, don't tell her your plans. Don't tell her your worries like that. Hey, I think we should bomb this. No, you don't want her involved, then don't say things like that in front of her.
Don't spell it out. Like, these people.
Hoban,
This is why I'm like, I'm rooting for the
no.
Empire at this point. Like, all these people need to be wiped out of the genetic pool of the galaxy. Because, please.
Wow. Holy moons, that's Kriffed up.
I just can't. They're awful. They're
It's a small moon. It's outside the outer rim. It won't even notice.
nobody will even miss them.
It's a small moon after all.
It's a small moon. Sorry, Ronald. We keep sabotaging your answer.
Oh no, it all plays. It all ties together.
Was that
okay.
it? I guess.
I wasn't sure. It was my turn.
He just gave up, I think.
Yeah, no. After the Hoban thing, yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
You gave up on us.
But I'd like to. Sorry to cut you off.
Never
on
mind.
your-
He didn't give
you
up.
were
He's
gonna-
done giving up.
Nope.
Actually, the one I'm really rooting for on the team is Colvin,
Who?
the Rhodian. Colvin the Rhodian.
Oh, you
Oh,
just
yeah.
like the Rhodian.
So, I do. I am
I do.
actually.
I love aliens. So yeah, I'm like,
Something about Greedo.
Amazing.
I mean, I never really hated Greedo either, but
you just
something
like
about these
Sulo.
Rhodians and these stories, yeah. And I think that's what it is. I feel
He
like
just reminds you.
I
Of
feel like these Rhodians, good Rhodians. I don't know, something about them. I just like to give
Good
Colvin a
Rhodians.
shout out. Sorry, Jazz. Go ahead.
No, that's right. That's right. I mean, I love aliens too. I love aliens. You guys know this, so I feel it.
Yeah.
But part of me wants to be like, you know what? You idiots didn't listen. Sucks to suck. Maybe you'll learn from this. But then another part of me is just, I'm like, that's too mean. I care about Kaden. I care about these other idiots, even though they didn't listen. Maybe this will be enough to scare them to not act before thinking, So if I were Ahsoka, I would go help them. I'd be pissed and I'd let them know, like, you guys are dumb, but I'd still go help them.
Mhm.
I think it's
I
different.
mean, she's
If you're saying like, I just by myself, would I go help?
Mm.
Yeah. But would I let everybody else go as like
Well,
a rescue mission or
it
whatever?
was only 2 other people that went with her.
Yeah, I wouldn't even allow that though, I think. I don't know.
I would go. And if those 2 were like, we're coming along no matter what, I'd be like, fine, be useful, listen before acting. I know what I'm talking about at this point. I think you guys have learned. So I would tell them, like, go ahead, come along. And hopefully the others learn their lesson. But I don't think I could in good conscience, especially, being a Jedi at heart, if I were in her shoes, I couldn't just let them face the actions or their consequences alone.
Okay, well, you are the nice one, I guess.
I would be a little smug about it, but I'm not going to let them fall. Well,
You'd
what am
rescue
I
him
gonna
just so
do?
you could be like, I told you so.
Am I going to
afterwards.
rescue them, pat them on the head, be like, nice try, sweetheart? Maybe next time I'll be like, no, y'all are stupid.
Yeah,
Let's
you do need them to
think
live
it
so
out
that you can
before.
reprimand them.
Yeah, and then hopefully they'll come up with better plans that won't get half of them killed the next time.
Yeah, or natural selection, aka the Empire, will take care of things.
Okay, Darwin.
They're about to win the Darwin Award trying to sneak in there and bomb the barracks. They get what's coming to them.
Fair.
That was the last question?
That was the last question. Short, sweet, to the point. I'm sure that there will be more questions as more fun stuff pops
Oh
up.
yeah. This seems like it was a section of setting up. So from here on out, it's probably going to be action and decisions, and things are going to be happening. So we will see what are the chapters for next week.
13 through 18.
13 through 18 for next week. Okay, so y'all got your assignments. and your books. And we will be reading that and chatting next week. In the meantime, we'll see you on all our other social media channels and gaming and stories and art and everything. So look forward to seeing everybody there and reading with you and discussing Ahsoka next week. So bye for this week. Sexy
Sexy
Wookiees.
Wookiees.